So in this video, let us answer the questions on excretion. So the topic that we are going to look at is excretion. We are going to learn this topic by answering questions. So the topic is excretion. Okay, so let us start with the first question. So this one came in 2020, school certificate, that is ECZ. Table 2 shows the concentration of various substances in blood and glomerular filtrate and urine. So as you can see, the substances, there's urea, there's glucose, there's salt, there's proteins, or there are proteins there. The first question is, name the process responsible for the formation of glomerular filtration. So the process responsible for the formation of glomerular filtration is called ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltration is the process, or you can put pressure filtration. Okay, so ultrafiltration or pressure filtration is the answer to this question. Which of the substance in table 2 above does not pass through glomerular during filtration? Which of the substance above does not pass through the glomerular during filtration? So the one that does not pass through, you can look at this. This is what is in the blood that is coming, but in the glomerular filtration there's 0 of protein. So here we can put the one that is not present in the proteins. The one that is not present in the glomerular filtrate, which is what? Which is proteins. Okay, so protein does not pass through. Give a reason for your answer. Now, the answer to this question is because proteins are large to pass through the walls of the capillaries there. Okay, so because they are large molecules. Okay, so here you can write because they are large molecules. So that is the answer to this question. Then of course explain why the concentration of urea in the glomerular filtrate, so urea in the glomerular filtrate is less than the concentration of urea in the urine. So why is the concentration here high and this one is low? Okay, that is the question. Now, the answer to this question is because it is not reabsorbed back into the what? Into the blood. Or because water is reabsorbed back into the blood, leaving the urine concentrated. Okay, so because water is reabsorbed back into what? Into blood, leaving the what? Urine with high concentration of urea. Okay, it is not reabsorbed back into the, because what happened during reabsorption, only the useful substances such as glucose, some water, okay, some volume of water are reabsorbed back into the blood. But what remains there is what? Urea. And of course, due to less amount of even water that remains, the urine has high concentration of urea. I guess you get the point here. Okay, so that is basically, or that is the reason why the concentration in glomerular filtrate is lower compared to that of urine. Water and of course glucose are reabsorbed back into the blood, and of course leaving urea in high concentration. Okay, so here is the second question. This one came in. So the other question here, please, before we leave this part, the other question was to draw the internal part. Okay, internal parts of a kidney, a fully labeled internal part of a kidney. So that question you should be able to draw. Okay, that part you should be able to draw the internal, okay, parts. Okay, detailed, draw a labeled a diagram for internal part of the kidney. So that question you should be able to draw. That was the other question that was here. Then of course question 2, this one I was saying it came in 2018. This one came in 2018 GCE. The question is, as you can see, the question, so we have two parts here. You have this one, that is, we have here, if you can't see it, you have two roots here. The one that is going in, as you can see the arrow, and the one that is going out. Okay, so one of these is called the aorta. You know that the aorta is the main artery that carries oxygenated blood, and of course the other one is what? The vena cava. Okay, the vena cava. The vena cava takes blood away from the what? From the kidney to the what? To the heart, and of course the aorta brings it. But the aorta, as it reaches the kidney, it branches off into what we call the renal artery. So you should know that. So the renal artery is the one that enters the what? Where it is showing the arrow going this side, which means blood is being taken here, and of course the renal artery is the one that enters into the kidney, and of course the one that leaves is called the renal vein, which means the renal vein takes out blood from the kidney to the vena cava, and of course it connects the heart. Now this renal artery carries blood rich in oxygen, and this one carries rich in carbon dioxide. So that is what normally happens. Now why does it bring the blood rich in oxygen? It's not only oxygen but also some nutrients. Okay, there are cells in the kidney, and of course they need energy for the kidney to perform its function. There are quite a number of mechanisms, or quite a number of things that happen in the kidney. As you know, the kidney is responsible for the formation of what? Urine, and that process requires also energy. So you can look at it all that way. So I'm just trying to explain some of the things that we might not find in the question, but let us look at the question. The first question is that is question A of Roman numeral 1. Name the part labeled Q and R. So the part labeled P or Q and R. The part Q is this one. So what is the part Q? That is the ureter. So these two are called ureters. Okay, so what is the function of the ureter? Although they've not given us, they've just given us to give the name, but it's very important. What if next time you find the function of the ureter? So the ureter is the one that now transport the manufactured urine from the kidney to the what? To the bladder. So this part is called the bladder. Okay, urinary bladder, or it's called urinary bladder. Urinary bladder stores what? Urine temporarily, because the urine does not stay there for forever. You have to urinate. Okay, so when the bladder is full, urination takes place. But of course this one transports what? Urine from the kidney to the bladder. Okay, so that's the function. But what we are asked just to name these. Suggest the three substances excreted by the organ that is in part 3. The whole of this system. What are the substances excreted by these? Okay, excretion, you just know that it's a removal of harmful metabolic waste from the body. So what substances are excreted? So one of the substances here we're giving 3. So excess. So it's written like this: excess salts. Then what else? Urea. Then what else? Excess water. So these are the substances that are excreted. Okay. Give one example of osmoregulatory function of the kidney. What is one of the osmoregulatory function of the kidney? So in this one we can write absorption of water from the glomerulus, okay, filtrate. By the help of ADH. You know what ADH is? The antidialectic, I guess it's written like this, hormone. This antidialectic hormone, in other questions, you are going to find where is it produced. So this one is produced in the what? Pituitary gland. And of course, this one is stimulated by the hypothalamus. Okay? So what stimulates the pituitary gland is the hypothalamus, but the hormone is produced by the pituitary gland. So in the case where you are asked the organ where it is produced, that is the pituitary gland. I'm sure we're going to find such a question. Identify 2 disorders that might affect the excretory system. What are the 2 disorders? So one of them is called kidney failure. And of course, we can talk of maybe kidney stones. And other things, or other diseases. Okay, you can also look at other disorders. Okay, so don't just limit yourself to these. You can look at other disorders. Let's talk of lung cancer, because here why we are putting also lung cancer, because excretory system itself, what is it made of? Lungs. What is it made of? Skin. What is it made of? The kidney. Okay, so now lung cancer, skin cancer, and also kidney failure. We can also talk emphysema. We can also talk of bronchitis. Those are some of the disorders that might affect the excretory system. So be aware of that. Okay, so let us go to question. This is the third question we are answering, I guess. It's the third question we are answering. And of course, this question came in 2021. That is 2021 school certificate. What is the question? Identify the parts labeled K and L. So what is the part labeled K? Now, this part labeled K is taking blood into the what? Into this hole that you are seeing here. The hole of this is called the Bowman capsule. Then inside it, we have the glomerulus, and of course the tubule that is coming outside there. So now, this one, the one that is taking blood inside, is called afferent. Afferent, I guess it's written like this, afferent arterial. Okay, arterial. Why I'm saying afferent arterial? Because there's also another one called efferent. So the one that is taking, taking the blood out of this after the filtration, after the ultrafiltration has occurred, is called the efferent. Okay, so we have the afferent and efferent. So afferent is the one that takes blood into the glomerulus here. In fact, it's the one that subdivides into masses of the capillaries called the glomerulus, because the glomerulus is just a mass of capillaries here. Okay, then of course it comes out as efferent. And of course the adaptation is that this one is narrower. This one is narrower compared to this one because it carries blood at high pressure. Okay, then B, also the K is called afferent. Then what about L? What about L? So L here, if it is pointing outside, then we can talk of the Bowman's capsule. But if it's pointing inside there, we can put glomerulus. Okay, just for you to know. Then name the 2 substances present in the fluid K but absent from the fluid what? M. Fluid K, the one that is entering here. What is the substance present in the fluid what? Fluid K, but absent in the fluid what? Fluid M. Now we need to identify what are these fluids. So the fluid K, it is what? Blood. Okay, blood plasma or blood, because the blood that is going in. Then of course M, you know that is a glomerulus filtrate. So now the second question, that is B, name the 2 substances present in K, present in fluid K but absent in fluid what? M. Now it's very important to know what fluid K and what fluid M is. So the fluid originally that is entering here is blood plasma or blood. Then of course M, this one happens after filtration. So this one is called the glomerular filtrate. Okay, so glomerular filtrate and of course blood plasma. So what is present in K but absent in what? M, two of them. So here we are just looking at the substances that are not filtered out during the process of ultrafiltration. Okay, so what are the products, or what are the substances? One, red blood cells, and this is because they are large to pass through the walls of the capillaries or to be filtered. They are large, so they cannot be filtered, and this is the reason why they are not there in the ultrafiltrate. I mean the glomerular filtrate. Also, you can talk of the white blood cells. White blood cells. Also, you can talk of platelets. Also, you can talk of the proteins. Question 2 of B. Give 2 reasons for your answer in above. What is the question? Name 2 substances present in the fluid in K but not present in M. These are the reasons. Then give 2 reasons for your answer in above. Okay, so because why are these absent in the liquid M but present in liquid K? And this, you know that they were not filtered out. Okay, so the reason, because they could not be what? Undergo filtration. They could not undergo ultrafiltration. They could not undergo ultrafiltration. And of course, the other reason, because they are large in size. They are large or big. They are big and could not pass through the what? The glomerulus. Okay, the glomerulus. So that is the reason why they are absent, or that is the reason why these substances are not there in liquid M. During the ultrafiltration, they could not undergo ultrafiltration. And also they are large in size, so they couldn't pass through the walls of the glomerulus. Okay, so these are reasons why in liquid M we have absence of red blood cells, white blood cells, and of course proteins. Okay, then 2 common disorders associated with the kidney, that is C1. What are the 2 disorders associated with the kidney? So one of them is called kidney failure. So kidney failure is where now one kidney fails to function, or at times all the kidneys fail to function properly. Okay. Then of course, what is the other one? You can find also kidney stones. Okay, kidney stones. So these are some of the 2 disorders of the kidney. Then explain how the disorders in C can be what? Can be treated. How can you treat these disorders? So one way to treat the disorders is by what? Undergoing kidney transplant. Okay, so undergoing kidney transplant, where the kidney that is not functioning properly, it be one or all the kidney are removed, and of course you replace. Okay, then also we are looking at kidney surgery. Okay, if we are to carry out kidney surgery, then of course we can look at the kidney, the dialysis machine. Okay, use of the dialysis machine. So these are some of the ways in which the above can be treated. Okay. Okay. Let us look at this question. So this one came in 2020 GCE, and the question reads: Figure 3.0 below shows the section through a nephron. Then the first question is, name the part labeled J, K, and L. What are the parts labeled J, K, and L? So J is right here, K is right here, and of course L is right here. So for J, it is called, as you can see, it is pointing inside here. So this one is called the glomerulus. So it's called glomerulus. Then of course, what about K? K is the outside part, which is called the Bowman capsule. Okay, so the Bowman's capsule. That is called Bowman capsule. Then what about the L? This is called the collecting what? Duct. So these are the parts that we have, collecting duct. Suggest the three substances that are not filtered out at J. So at J, where is J? Here. Which are those three substances that are not filtered out? So you can see some of these questions were just repeating same things. So what did we say? Red blood cells. You can put white blood cells. White blood cells. You can put platelets. You can put proteins. And the reason why they are not filtered out, I'm sure they will ask us the reason why. But if the question is not there, the reason because they are large in size and of course cannot be filtered out. Okay, see. Okay, there's another question here. So this part was supposed to be for this this question, this part that I've written here. Then for this question, explain what would happen at 3, okay, or in figure 3. If the coiling of the blood capillaries were increased. Now, blood capillaries are these that are coiling around the tube. Okay? So now, what would happen if the coiling was increased? In short, we have explain what would happen at in figure 3. Let me say in figure 3, if the coiling of the blood capillaries was increased. So what would happen is that filtration, that is filtration would increase. Okay, the filtration, or there will be more ultrafiltrate. Okay, there will be more ultrafiltrate. Okay, or the pressure will increase. So that is something that you should know. Then of course here, name the hormone that causes the reabsorption of water in the kidney, and of course the organ where it is produced. So this one, I think if you followed at some point, I did explain that this question you might find it. So name the hormone that causes the reabsorption of water in the kidney and of course the organs where it is produced. So now you need to know also how this one causes the reabsorption. That is very important even as we look at this topic. So what is the hormone? The hormone is called ADH, which is antidiuretic. Okay, diuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, which is called ADH. Then what is the organ where it is produced? It is called the pituitary gland. Okay, it is produced in the pituitary gland, and of course this one is stimulated by the what? The hypothalamus of the brain. So this is the answer, or these are the answers to this question. So this question reads, figure 4.0 shows the process involved in using the dialysis machine by the patient suffering from kidney failure. So as you can see, this is the setup of the machine and how all is set. The first question is, which of the labeled part V, U or T is the dialysis machine? So the dialysis machine, as you can see the connection here, the blood of the patient goes into the machine, or it passes through the machine. So the dialysis machine is this one. Okay, so therefore we can say the dialysis machine is labeled part U. Okay, labeled U. Okay, then now which labeled part V, U or T removes the gas bubbles to the blood to prevent air lock? So to prevent air lock, the one that removes the gas bubbles, it is this part. Okay, so it's a part labeled T. So T, or part T. Then of course the other question, that is B, suggest the 2 reasons why both tube 2 and from the dialysis machine are connected to the vein and not to the artery. So as you can see here, before everything is set here, I think it's very important to mention that the artery and of course the vein are fused, okay? They are fused and they form what we call the fistula, okay? They form what we call the fistula. So they are fused before the machine is set. They are fused to form what we call the fistula. But the question is, why are they? The question is, why is the dialysis machine? So where they are fused here, please, this straight one, since they are fused, they are joined. In short, this straight one is called the artery, and of course this one is the vein. But look at the machine. The machine is connected to the what? To the vein and not to the what? To the artery. So here you should know that here they are fused, and of course the machine is connected to the veins and not to the vein and not to the artery. Now, what is the reason why it is connected to the vein and not to the artery? So we can say because veins often more superficial and closer to the surface, or let me say veins are closer to the what? Or are close. Let me say are close to the surface. Okay, so they are easy to find. The veins are close to the surface, and of course, and that is the reason why it is connected here, okay, than arteries. So veins, because veins are close to the surface than what? Than arteries. Arteries are found deep in the skin. Okay, then of course, what is the other reason, since you are given two? So the other one, the artery, you know that it moves blood at high pressure. So putting the machine or connecting the machine to the artery, it will be pulled out. Okay, so you can say connecting to the artery, blood can pull back the needle because the artery moves blood at high pressure. So you can say because the what? The artery moves blood at high pressure, connecting the machine, which is the dialysis machine, to the artery, it would be pulled back or out. Okay, so these are the two reasons why it is connected to the veins and not to the artery. But here, just know that they are fused to form what we call the fistula. Then we are answering question C now. Explain how the important nutrients like glucose, amino acid, and salt are prevented from leaving the blood in the dialysis machine. So when the blood of the patient flows here, it goes there, it enters the dialysis machine. The nutrients that it contains need to be drawn back to the what? To the body. Okay? So the blood of the patients are not supposed to lose the important nutrients such as glucose, amino acids, and of course some other important substances. So how is it kept? The question here is that how is it prevented from leaving the machine? So the way it is prevented from leaving the machine is that in the machine here, the dialysis machine, we have what we call dialysis fluid. So we have what we call dialysis fluid. Now, the concentration of the dialysis fluid, so this is how it is prevented. The concentration of dialysis fluid is set equal to the concentration of the blood. Okay, so the concentration of the dialysis fluid is set equal to the concentration of the blood, which means that the concentration of dialysis fluid in terms of glucose, it also contains same amount of glucose as that of blood. and of course also amino acid as that of that of blood. What is the importance of this? So this one is more like form equal concentration. Okay, and of course if there's equal concentration, you know that nothing is going to leave because there's equal concentration. For diffusion or osmosis to take place where this is leaving out, there has to be a concentration gradient. So here there's none. So that is the reason why, because that is how the important nutrients here are maintained in the blood. So by setting, or the concentration of dialysis fluid is equal to that of what? They have same component, and of course the concentration. Glucose is equal in concentration, that is in the dialysis machine, equal to the one that is in the blood, and of course amino acids and all other important substances. So what are the disadvantages? We are answering now this question, that is D. State 2 disadvantages of using the dialysis machine by patient with kidney failure. So one of it is that it is expensive. So it is expensive. This one does not come at a cheaper price. This one is expensive. Someone is required to go for a dialysis machine 3 times per week. Now you can imagine the amount of money they can spend on this process. So it is expensive. That is one disadvantage. Then the other one that we can look at is that the patient spend much hour connected to the machine. Okay, so the patient spend much hours connected to the machine, about 4 hours. 4 hours, that is 3 times per week. Okay, so the patient get tired. The patient get tired, okay, because of this. So we can say it leaves the patient tired because it requires lengthy time in hospitals. So you can write that it leaves the patient tired because it requires lengthy time in hospitals. Like I said, 4 hours, and of course you do it 3 times per week. So that is a lot of time. Then of course suggest other method of treatment. The patient or the kidney failure, suggest other method of treatment of kidney failure in patient. So you can think of a kidney transplant. Okay, kidney transplant. And of course also this one we need to look at what are the advantages. Maybe in this case, this time around you find the question, what are the advantages of the dialysis machine? Let me say, what are the advantages of kidney transplant over the dialysis machine? Such question you should be able to answer it. And of course the advantage is that kidney transplant, once the surgery heals, then someone is permanently okay. Okay? But for the dialysis machine, you keep on going for a routine. But for a kidney transplant, it's just once and for all. Okay, so that is one of the advantage. But what could be the disadvantage of kidney transplant? So for kidney transplant, one of the disadvantage could be rejection. Okay, transplant rejection. Okay, because when you are doing kidney transplant, you are getting the kidney from someone. And of course, it is being implanted in you. So sometimes there can be organ reject where the kidney now fails to work afterward. Okay? It fails to work afterward. So that is one of the risk that you can, that one of the disadvantage that you can encounter. But the other one also, because after the transplant, there are some medication that you are given. So those medication might maybe cause some complications. So you can also look at it in those lines. So aside from that, yes, organ reject where the kidney fails to work after transplant, and of course some complications from medication. So those are some of the disadvantages. So please, you should be able to look at it in those lines. And of course, maybe just to sum up everything, the other part of the topic that should look at, that is excretion in plants. Okay, so you should be able to look at also excretion in plants. That part you should also be able to look at it. Okay, as it is one of the parts that you might expect in an exam.